You got
Oh,
that?
well, I'll have to go back and check that. Okay. All right. And it looks like we are live on YouTube.
We are, because I've got it on my phone here, so
All right.
100% live.
100% live. Hot dog.
Just make sure
And
that's volume all the way down.
for both of you that are watching, it is, we're just in pre show. And yeah.
And Eamon's stocking up on Red Bull. So when did you head back from the show, Tom? Was that did you head back Thursday or?
Yeah, the show ended Wednesday. And Sandy and I had a nice evening out Wednesday night,
Oh, nice.
and then had an afternoon flight back on Thursday.
Yeah,
Um,
great.
so it's been good. Looks like Jan Lindy is in the chat saying
Oh yeah,
hello,
hey,
and Aziz is there. Welcome, and Dennis. Dennis, my email is tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com. Try to make it as intuitive as possible. And if you guys that are watching know anyone that you think might be interested in this is going to be a great opportunity to gain some insight on the workings of BirdDog, because Eamon is going to tell us every secret, all of the secrets, where all the skeletons are hidden.
I know where some are, but I'll need Dan's passwords for a few. If I'm going to share this on Facebook just now, Tom, what's the best link to share? Is it to the YouTube or?
Yeah, probably the YouTube. Or
Okay.
you could, yeah, that YouTube would be the easiest. Aziz, BirdDog is all over Europe. Aren't you guys all over Europe?
Yeah, we sure are. Yep, yep.
Yeah.
We're actually on sale in more than 100 countries now, so pretty much every country in Europe.
Okay. So Aziz is
Yeah.
having
Where
trouble
are you?
finding you guys.
Hmm. Where are you, Aziz? Aziz?
Don't use my southern pronunciation as a marker for how it should be done.
I have no idea either. So I'm lucky to pronounce my own name at times. So I'm just going to do a quick post on Facebook for us. And,
Yeah, I thought Germany. That's good. Yeah, he's in Berlin.
yeah, okay. Yeah, so you can get through Taltech and various others. There's numerous resellers on our website in Germany, as is. You can check it out at birddog.tv. And just at the top, there's a where to buy link, yeah. And you can check it out there.
And if you have trouble with that, I'll ship to Germany. What the heck?
Yeah, why
Why
not, right? Can't be
why
that
not?
hard.
We shipped. Well, it's been a little, I guess, a year or so ago, but we shipped some cameras to Israel because they were having trouble getting them over there. You just never know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I
We may
think
have.
for now, as long as we're not shipping even indirectly to Russia, we're okay. Because
Mhm.
I don't know about the USA, but Australia, there's a trade ban now, so we're strictly not allowed to ship even to a country that we think is going to on ship onto Russia. So
Uh huh. Wow. Wow. All right. All right, Jan. You are not the only one that has problems getting the play.
yeah,
I was
the
able
whole
to
world has that problem.
I was able to steal a floor copy from the NAB show. So when BirdDog starts
Good, you
counting
got
and
one.
they say, we're short one. Where is it? Well, it's here in Alabama. Yep. No, we've got a bunch of them, a carton of them on order, waiting to come in. But if you're missing one chip, that's it. You can't ship them. One little piece part will hold up the whole thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, the play got hit by some silicon shortages, which for the most part, we were able to navigate through these troublesome times pretty well. But yeah, the Play being a new product and things like that, we're being told lead times of 50 weeks and things like that, and we've done our best to get it down. But yeah, we're not too far away now, so
Wow.
Should be okay. Oh,
Okay, curious if, hey, Tommy, glad to have you. If you guys will give me an idea of the audio between Eamon and myself, make sure the volume levels are about equal. Sometimes that's hard to get right. Tommy, the dancing girls are still in Las Vegas. We didn't bring any home with us. Sandy went with me, and so she wouldn't have approved of that, bringing home dancing girls. Although we did go to Fremont Street, and there were some dancing girls there, and the largest part of their costume was the feathers on their head. That was an experience. Of course, the last time I was here, I got hit with a riding crop by some girl in a leather bikini, and so I was careful for that this time. It's just, I have to tell it all, no secrets. No secrets.
No, the Fremont experience is definitely an experience.
And it's interesting. The amazing LED wall or the LED ceiling was actually manufactured and installed by one of my clients, a company called Watchfire.
Oh, really?
Watchfire
wow.
Signs out of Illinois, and I think they spent 2 or 3 years on that project between design to final installation. But what a mammoth
I'm not
install.
surprised because it's a pretty big install. Have you ever done the Flying Fox underneath?
No. We were gonna. It looks like it'd be fun.
Yeah, I did it at night once. It was pretty fun. I mean, they've got the LED thing going and everything.
Yeah,
it was pretty crazy. So
yeah,
it was good fun.
Tommy, I think Eamon's little echo is just because he's in a regular room with no special sound treatment and using the mic on his laptop. So he's doing the best he can under these circumstances.
Yeah, I've got the AirPods in. Do you want me to try without the AirPods?
If you want, we can try. I mean, I think you're fine. In fact,
Okay.
let me just tweak your EQ here. We could probably take out some of that.
Okay.
Let's see. Well, we've got. All right. Why don't you try that now? How does that sound now?
How are we going now? Is that sounding better?
That's a little bit of an echo. Let's try something else.
It honestly might be just my croaky voice at the moment.
Well, that can happen to the best of us, yeah. Okay, what about now? Little sound check there, Eamon.
Hello. Sound check, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. BirdDog.
Yeah, that didn't help. Okay. We're just going to go with it. It's
Okay.
like I mentioned earlier, it's real. It's real. The old mic on the laptop trick. That's right. And
Yeah.
Aziz says that you're totally understandable, so we're okay there.
That's good.
Jan is asking, Tom and Eamon, did you guys survive NAB without risk to health?
Not really. That's why I'm in a hotel room at the moment and not somewhere a bit nicer. I actually got COVID, John. So I'm day 3 or 4. What day is it? Wednesday. Yeah. So
Wednesday. Yeah.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, day 4 today. I think it might be day 5. I'm not sure.
You tend to lose track. Yeah. Unless you've got.
Well, I didn't.
You were not sure what day you came down with it, are you?
That's it, yeah. So the day I started feeling really sick was Sunday morning, and I had one COVID test with me. But of course, the one time you actually needed a COVID test, it comes up invalid, so I didn't get the control line.
Oh God!
And I just got I got too sick to be able to go out and get another one. So it wasn't until Monday morning I managed to, get it together enough to get down to the CVS and get a new test, and then that was obviously negative. or positive. Sorry,
Yeah.
positive for COVID, negative for not COVID.
Well, NAB was just a super spreader event. Yep.
Mm.
But the good news
Is that like,
is, now that you've had it, you're in the second highest category of resistance. Of course, if you've been vaccinated, you're in the highest category of resistance, natural
well, I'm triple
and
vaxxed.
vaccine.
Well, I'm triple
Yep.
vaxxed, and now I've got it. So
You're
what does that make me, bulletproof or something?
you are bulletproof. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
We
Sandy and I,
didn't.
once we had it, they didn't have a vaccine when we had it. That was November of 2020. The vaccine didn't come out till the next year, and
Oh,
then
of course, yeah.
there was just never there was just never a time to do it. It was limited to certain vulnerable age groups, and
Mm.
and we never got vaccinated. And I
Well, if you've
had
already
no.
had it, this probably no need. Right? So,
We had a antibody test about 6 months ago, I guess, and they were still way off the charts in terms of antibodies. So it's like, wow, okay.
yeah.
And
Yeah, we
it,
in Australia they're a bit more militant on these things, so we didn't really get too much of a choice. It was either get vaccinated or never go to a restaurant again.
uh-huh,
So
uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah, well, that's the way it was in New York too. Yeah, yeah,
mm.
yeah. But down here in Alabama, it's a different way of life, and as it turned out,
Yeah.
it didn't affect the rates really when you look at the statistics. And I used to follow that really closely. Rudy wants to know if
Yeah.
there are women lying in front of your door.
Is that Rudy from Belgium?
Yes.
Hey, Rudy. You'll be disappointed here, but the answer is no.
Not unless they're vaccinated. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, Tommy. So it's Eamon. It's Eamon.
Yeah,
It took me
it's
3
an
weeks
Irish
to get
name,
it.
so
So
that's
yeah,
okay. It takes
an
most people
Irish name.
most of their life. My favorite one is I go into like check into hotels and things like that, especially in the USA, and I give them my passport and it says last name Drew, first name Eamon, and I
Uh-huh.
say, "Is your last name Eamon?" I'm like, "No." It says quite clearly last name Drew.
Yes.
Like, you've seen a
Can't you
passport
read?
before. You check people in. You check people in all day, right?
That's right.
So, yeah.
That's right. So Rudy's bike is a chick magnet, says Tommy. Okay.
I could see Rudy being the chick magnet.
So yeah. All right, we've got 5 minutes till showtime. So we're just shooting the breeze, as they say, down here. And we'd love to have you alert your friends that Eamon Drew is on Streaming Idiots this afternoon. Because
Sorry if I
this
get.
is
I'm looking at the chat on my phone. If that's
no. That's fine. That's fine.
I won't do it. I won't do it once we start chatting.
It's this is going to be a classic. This is going to be a classic interview. I can tell right now. It was interesting. What was it? 2019, September 2019. We were in Amsterdam at IBC, and you and Dan hosted this little party. Here we go all the way across the world to Amsterdam, and you hosted a party in an Australian bar and grill. You do remember that, I'm sure.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were drinking, I don't know, some sort of Australian beer, Foster's maybe, something like that. And somehow either I cornered the two of you guys or you guys cornered me. I don't remember exactly how it went. But you were telling me the story of BirdDog, and it was fascinating. And I was beating you both up, saying, you need to get some of this stuff on film. You need to document it. There needs to be a documentary about where this company came from, because, when you guys rule the world, people are going to want to know where you came from. It's like, my Twitter feed now just fills up with stuff about Elon Musk, because all of a sudden everybody's discovering, oh no, he didn't just make an electric car. He didn't just, invent a rocket found a rocket company, but he bought Twitter. And that's going to have as much effect on most people's lives as the rockets and the electric cars. Did you get to ride? You own a Tesla though, don't you?
I do. Yeah, I've got a Model 3. So I've never been much of a car person. I don't really care that much for cars and bikes and things like that.
Yeah.
I grew up in the countryside, so I've always ridden motorbikes and stuff like that when I was a kid, but never really got too much into the whole car thing. But yeah, I've had it for 3 years now, and I still wake up and walk out and sit in the driveway and think, wow, that's awesome! I get to drive you to work today. I still get the same kick out of it that I had when I first got it. So yeah, I think it's not just a Tesla thing. I think electric cars are the way to go. Like once you get an electric car and drive one of those for a while, I don't think you're going to want to go back to driving a gasoline car.
I rode in my very first one at NAB.
In the Hyperloop.
In the Hyperloop.
The tunnel, yeah.
The tunnel between the North Hall and the West Hall, yeah. It
was. What did you think? Which?
It was anticlimactic, the Tesla ride was, and I was one of 5 people that was in the North Hall. It was virtually empty.
Yeah. Before the show opened, I jumped in and just did the loop. I didn't actually get out of the car. I just said, just take me through the tunnels just to test it out. And I found after about 10 seconds, I'm like, I'm just sitting in a car in a tunnel.
That's right.
There's nothing exciting about this. But
nope.
Yeah.
No, it was not a Disney ride. It didn't veer off a cliff and then suddenly you were somewhere else that you didn't intend on being. That's right.
No, exactly. So which car did you get? Can you remember?
A white one?
Did it have the big screen in the middle or like a big iPad?
It did, yes.
Yeah, yes. So you would have got the Model Y, same as me, yeah.
Okay. I sat
so
in the back.
I've got the same. So I've got the Model 3, which interior looks the same, but it's a bit smaller. It's more like a sedan. It's more like a small SUV.
Actually, I did a video of it. I can go back now and look more closely and see what I missed.
Yeah. I like Elon's style. So the first 4 models of his car were Model S, Model X, Model 3, because he couldn't get Model E because of Ford, so he made the 3 look like the E, and then Model Y, which the 4 that just spelled sexy.
May as well. Right?
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, let's see. We're counting down here. All right. Thank you for the gift of the BirdDog sweatshirt.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I wore it all the way back from Las Vegas to Pensacola, Florida, because I was freezing the whole time, and I thought, what can I do? Oh, I've got this cool sweatshirt. So
awesome.
That was wonderful. Yeah, and Sandy has stolen the hat, so I may never see that again.
I'll have to get you another one then.
It was good gear. Good gear.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you like it.
All right. Well, let's get this show on the road. It's showtime, and we will take off the where is it? Take off the pre-show stuff. There we go. Make that go away. And Eamon, I'm gonna drop your audio for just a moment, and I'm gonna hit the pink button on my X Keys XK80, and away we go. All right, it works once again. I'm always amazed when that works. Hey, I'm Tom Sinclair. This is Streaming Idiots. You've arrived at the end of the internet. If you go any further, you just fall off the edge from here. I am super excited. I don't say super much, so I must really mean it. I'm super excited because we've got a really cool guest in the house today. Eamon Drew with BirdDog is here. Eamon's one of the founders of BirdDog, and we're going to dive into some of that stuff in just a second. But I wanted to give a shout out to all the folks that I met at NAB, and all the folks that showed up at the Streaming Idiots meetup at NAB. That was not this 2 nights ago Monday, but a week ago Monday. And we just had a super time. And thanks so much to the folks from PTZ Optics and US Broadcast and NeuralNet and vMix and BirdDog. And I feel like I'm leaving somebody out. And Magewell for the prizes. I mean, like every other person went home with something. It was just one of those really, really cool events. And then, of course, a special shout out to Scott Whitney for allowing us to meet in his new Podworks studios there in Las Vegas, and for Nick Nichols for doing so much work behind the scenes to make all that stuff work. Really cool studio there. He's got like 6 sets in this studio. And so he can do, just about anything you think of. So if you're in Las Vegas and you need some live streaming done from a on-prem type situation there, he can fix you up. That's Podworks, PODWORX, Podworks in Las Vegas. Great guys and super cool to work with. So let's see. We've got a button around here, and I think we can do this. And yeah, this is going to bring in Eamon Drew, our guest, one of the founders of BirdDog, stuck in a hotel in New York. Eamon, welcome to the show. Hang in there, man.
Hi. Yeah, hi, Tom. Thanks for having me. And I promise everyone I'm normally a lot more high energy, but I'm day 4 of COVID, so I've been isolating in this hotel room in New York City, and I'm trying my best to stream from here using my laptop. But as we all know, a real camera gives you better results, and I really should have one with me, but I'm sort of on the move at the moment, so I'm using the camera out of the laptop, and so here we are. I sent you a photo, Tom, actually, and you're welcome to share it later of the setup. I sent it to you on that messenger.
Cool. Okay.
The super high tech setup that I've got going on here.
Super high tech setup. Well, we are always intrigued with super high tech setups. So let's see what that would be on Facebook. Yeah.
I sent it to you on the messenger app on Facebook. Yeah.
Okay.
Just before the show started. But it's great to be here. Okay. Thanks, Tom. I'm just for the record, just before we start, I'm okay, everybody. So don't worry too much. The first couple of days of COVID were the worst, and I'm sort of getting over it now. I'm feeling better every minute, every hour. So don't stress too much. I'm okay.
Well, good, because we were concerned about you. That's not fun stuff. Let's see.
Yeah. Well, I realize why everyone takes it so seriously now. The first couple of days were pretty bad, but it's all good now.
All right, so here is Eamon's setup.
This is how not to stream.
Well, but what it is this is that you can do a whole lot with just a little. I mean, here we are in a fairly decent setup right here, a little 2-box set. And you're breaking rule number 2, I think, of live streaming, which is don't be backlit by a window. But
yeah, well, I didn't know where else to set up. It was either that or point it towards the bathroom. And I don't think anyone wants to see that, so I had no choice. Or pull the blind down.
Right. And then rule number 3 is don't wear a dark shirt in front of a white backdrop. So yeah, and then
again, no choice. I only wear
no choice. So that's right.
That's literally all I've got packed. Yeah,
but it works.
Because I have that with no shirt.
Yeah,
sure
that's
no
right.
Wants to see that.
That's right. No, not going there. Not going there. Well, it was a delight to see you at NAB. I was by your booth a couple of times, and got a chance to spend a little bit of time with you and with Dan and with John and with Zach and some of the other guys that were there. So that was really, really neat. I was so impressed with the compact size of your booth, but with the large number of products that you guys were sharing, And the fact that the BirdDog booth, guys, this is no lie. NAB was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And every time on those 4 days I went by the BirdDog booth, you almost had to fight your way to get into it because it was just super crowded with people. And everybody was doing a demo on this or that or the other, and there were TV executives there, and they were little junior live streamers like me there, and then everybody in between. And so, congrats on a great NAB. I mean, just from my perspective, you guys killed it. You really did.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. It was it sort of felt like a bit of a coming of age show for us, and I think we say this every time we've done a show, but we launched a whole bunch of new products. We launched 14 products, 6 new hardware, 8 new software. But just before we talk about all that sort of stuff, I'd like to give a shout out to our support manager, John Knudsen, who did all the networking for the stand. So literally every single product was networked. We didn't run any video cables at all. We had every single pod, which was 8 computers, multiple. I think we had 8 computers, 8 cameras, a Zoom room set up. I'm forgetting a whole bunch of stuff here, but it was all networked. So there's no video cables anymore.
And you had a studio set up there as well.
Yeah, we had like a podcast studio set up.
Yeah.
We had sort of 2 separate subnets. So we had one subnet which was for controlling the cameras, and then we had another subnet which was for a couple of cameras that we had networked just to record John shooting sessions with VIPs and other manufacturers and things like that. So the setup that John managed to put together for the show was amazing. So shout out to John. Well done, mate. Yeah,
really big deal. That was cool. Yeah, and he is such a nice guy. He's done so well with that show on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which I guess is on YouTube now, and it's sort of a online BirdDog support show, and it's always fun to tune in and see what he's talking about.
And it gives people a chance to get in touch and do a real-time chat. So if you're having a problem or got some quirks or something like that, you can just jump on there anytime and chat with John in real time, and he'll help you out. So it's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the biggest challenges of being a company in this day and age where people are expecting everything immediately, but to do tech support and to give a response to folks in a timely manner that's substantive. I mean, I appreciate the email that says, hey, we got your support ticket, we're going to get back with you. And that can be auto-generated in 10 minutes. But to actually get some support, really, really quickly when you need it is always a plus. And John has done a superior job in meeting my needs in that.
Absolutely. And so we've ramped up the team a lot in the last 18 months. So, 18 months ago it was just John in the USA, and I think that's right. John for the whole world. Like, one of the things people don't really maybe appreciate from the outside is we are quite a small team. We've only just passed 30 people. We're on track to hit maybe 50 by the end of this year. But we, if you go back 2 or 3 years ago, we were teenagers in terms of numbers. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
We've managed to sort of get a fair way along, but now we've got a support office in Michigan. We've got 4 or 5 people up there. We've just ramped up the commercial team in the USA, so there's like 5 people on the ground here in the USA as well, and we're starting to do that same kind of process in Europe as well, and really ramp up over there as well. So getting there.
You're getting there, but you had to start someplace, and you and Dan, what, did y'all go to high school together? You were teenage buddies, or what's the story there?
Yes. So Dan and I's story is an interesting one. We both started working at the company, or a company in Australia, who was distributing the first capture cards. So our first jobs out of high school, neither Dan or I went to university or college or anything. We just finished high school and went out and got a job, sort of thing. And we were lucky enough to meet at this company who was importing, like, if other people on the call maybe know, or on the stream know, but it was a company called Miro out of Germany, called MIRO, who were then acquired by Pinnacle Systems, and then Pinnacle Systems was acquired by Avid. But so a long way back, we're talking, I'll age myself now, I was 18 years old, and that was 25 years ago. So Dan and I, same age, we just happened to be at the same company at the same time, and that's sort of how we both learnt about video. Dan was always more on sort of the technical support / technical sales kind of position. I was always more on the product marketing and sort of just pure sales kind of
Some things never change.
role. And yeah, exactly. And so we've kept in touch over the years. And the first company we started actually was the one before this, and that was called Blonde Robot. We started that back in 2010.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and that's sort of the company that led us into this whole BirdDog experience. I think it's no surprise that the world that we live in was going to go networking at some point, right? And so we were always going to switch from video cables to Ethernet cables, and then at some point we're going to switch from Ethernet cables to cloud-based production, which is we're sort of almost on our way there. But so Dan and I have always been on the lookout for the product that was going to be, or the format that was going to be the right one to go from video cables into IP. And you've always got to have that mix of quality, latency, and bandwidth, and that's that sort of magic triangle. And you've got to somehow make a compromise in there. And we sort of thought that when NDI came along, that that could be the format that sort of ticked. It's low enough latency to do live production. The quality is broadcast quality, and the bandwidth is not overly taxing on the network. So it sort of ticked those three elements of what was needed to be a killer format. And so when it came along, we sort of thought, let's try and make some products around this format.
That's brilliant. So you guys were watching the market because you knew what the solution was. You were just waiting for it to emerge. Is that right?
Yeah, sort of. And when NDI came along, we were just lucky. We've been very fortunate through various things that we've done, but we were the new tech distributor for Australia and Southeast Asia. So we were selling new tech products in about 16 countries, I think. And we kind of learned of this NDI format before, it went wider into the general world or to the general public. And so, we're fortunate enough to find out. And Dan and I were just talking about it and what it meant. And the way it was positioned to us was this NDI format was a great way to, have TriCasters talking to computers, to get graphics over the network and potentially audio and various other things like that. But we couldn't really see a way to get a live camera into a TriCaster, essentially, into a production workflow. And so Dan, in his way, we'd had this conversation over a coffee or something like that, and didn't think any more of it. And then a few days later, Dan has turned his mega brain onto that idea and come into the office, and he's almost like a napkin sketch, but a bit more detailed than that, of the first product we were going to make, which was Studio NDI. And yes, while Studio NDI was the first product, there was a bigger vision behind that, which was, if we can get this to market and get it working, well, then we can use that as the sort of the mule to create a video company, essentially, that could potentially change live production. So when Dan first came in and sort of had the idea, I just thought he was crazy. But we've been down enough adventures together before, so I thought, let's go for another one. So we went for it, and it turns out we kind of got it right, but it's been very hard along the way, and here we are. So.
Well, and let's go back a little bit. You started this with the studio device, which was it's the size of a cassette tape, almost a video cassette, a VHS video cassette, and
similar size. Yeah,
I wish I'd kept one because it's going to be really valuable one day. And
I'll let you in on a secret. The first 100 or so, we actually put them together ourselves, Dan and I, on a table. And I found one the other day that I found one the other day that we'd hand screwed together, and I've got that on my desk now, and it's not leaving my possession.
Yep,
it's going to be mine.
That's right. It's invaluable. Can't be replaced. But as I got one of those, and I got more than one, and as you guys progressed with that product, and I was telling John this the other day, because he was very gracious and invited me to do a podcast session at your podcast studio there during NAB. And I said, I am understanding about BirdDog things that I never understood. BirdDog is an Easter egg company. And that explains part of the name, is because eggs come from birds. And Easter is, of course, my favorite holiday, the celebration of rising of Jesus Christ from the dead. How could there be anything more epic than that? And so you guys have decided that we're going to take this bird concept and we're going to have these little Easter eggs, and we're going to continue to pop Easter eggs into our product line, not just before the product is launched or as it's first launched, but a year or 2 years after it's launched. We're going to continue to make that product more valuable to the person that owns it by enabling things in it that they didn't even know were there. That is the craziest, that is the stupidest marketing campaign I've ever seen in my life. You want to get all your stuff out front. I mean, what were you guys thinking?
Yeah, we're not about the planned obsolescence of products. We want to keep them going for as long as they can. I know that's not what most companies do, but yeah, we keep trying our best to update products along the way. For example, we're about to launch Silicon 2 as an update, which is a free update for all of our hardware. There's more information about it on our website about exactly who gets what, because it depends on what the hardware is capable of. But essentially, we're going to release all of the high efficiency codecs and things like that for all of our products. So things like the 4K converters and the cameras will be able to do HX2 and HX3 and RTMP and RTSP, and I think the 4K Pro converters will be able to do H.265/HEVC. But the big thing is, and this is sort of something we've been working towards almost since Dan drew up the first product in Studio NDI, is we knew at some point we'd be able to connect all of the devices globally without the need for computers, and have this globally connected end-to-end workflow, or connectivity. And we've been working towards that since almost the start of the company, and we've had that vision along the way, but we sort of kept it a little bit under wraps because we didn't want to sort of let all of the news out and get people too excited and and all that sort of thing. But basically, what we've been able to do along the way is, I think we launched BirdDog Cloud at IBC. Because of COVID, my dates have gone straight out the window. So I think it was 2019. Just before we went into
I remember Dan showing it to me, because the BirdDog booth and the vMix booth were back to back that year.
Yeah, correct. And so we always sort of knew that we'd be able to at some point build that into the hardware itself. So rather than running computers on the send side, you'd be able to just put a throwdown box or a camera into somewhere and then connect to that using the cloud platform from somewhere else in the world. And we've gotten a lot closer to that. A lot of these high efficiency codecs and things like that, getting that into the actual silicon itself has been one of the biggest challenges, but we're kind of getting there now. And what it means is we can have this globally connected workflow and globally connected devices. So you can throw one of our P110 or P120 cameras down into a studio and then access them via vMix in an AWS instance anywhere in the world. Sorry, one of the formats, the biggest format I forgot to mention in all that was...
Whoa. Back up. You tried slipping that one by me. So you're saying that I could have a P110 or P120, which I've got a bunch of those on order. They're not shipping yet, but they're going to be shipping like soon. Yep. I can plug that into my network here, and that can be available to an AW2 instance in the cloud via vMix anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the formats I missed, and sorry, I am a bit foggy at the moment, so
wow.
If I go around in circles, is all of the devices will be getting SRT as well. So you'll be able to, plonk down, and I said P110 or P120, but indeed any of our cameras, you'll be able to plonk those down in a studio, say, in New York City.
Yes.
Have your vMix running in an AWS instance, send SRT up to the vMix, do your production in the cloud, and then push that out to wherever it needs to go, without ever sort of, without ever touching the cameras. And you don't need computers on the send side. Obviously, you'll need a computer to connect to the AWS instance and stuff like that.
Right. Of course. Oh, man. So that's going to make remote production a whole step easier because it doesn't involve a computer. Well,
Yeah,
the
exactly,
computer's
and
built into the
that's
camera. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, and that also means so things like our infrastructure products like the Open Gear cards, you'll be able to throw a whole bunch of those into a rack and have multiple ingests or output um, through an infrastructure product. And essentially, we don't see ourselves as ever becoming the that center part. There's already TriCasters and vMix and Wirecast and VizRT and ROS and Grass Valley, and the list goes on and on. We want to be sort of that on ramp or off ramp into that cloud production, and that's where we really see ourselves. Yeah,
You have created your own market, is what you've done. Yeah. Holy cow.
yeah,
So RJ from Emerald Coast TV says that he has 2 of the original NDI studio units that I sold him years ago, and he wants to sell them back to me at vintage prices. So
is that RJ Posniak?
no, that is RJ Murdoch
No,
from Fort
RJ
Walton
Murdoch.
Beach,
Okay.
Florida. Yeah, I think you've met him at NAB 2019 or 2018, but I know you meet 1,000 people.
Yep.
And
No, I know the name. I just had the wrong RJ. So yeah.
yeah,
Um,
and
yeah.
then
So
Ski says
if it,
he says, Tom, I love how crisp your image looks. What camera are you using? Eamon, do you know what camera I'm using?
is it 200 or 100?
It's the 200. That's right, the
Yeah. Okay.
P200,
Yeah.
BirdDog P200. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It is sharp
Yeah.
and crisp. I mean, it shows up every wrinkle. I need a worse camera. Can we dumb it down a little bit? Can we make it not look so good? Gee,
Now you know the real reason I'm using my laptop camera.
Yeah, I just need to back off the sharpness a little bit, like Bill O'Reilly used to do. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, this is the
And
P200.
sorry for drinking during the show. My throat's a little bit bad, but
Ah, look at that. That's right.
Yeah.
The latest of the version of Streaming Idiot koozies. This goes back to the original one in 2018, and then we had the invisible one from 2019, and then that one. Oh, and that's right, and it's got the BirdDog on the back. And Eamon and Dan were extremely gracious to send. Well, not you didn't really send one, but you gave away a P110 at the Streaming Idiots meetup. That was really great.
Yeah, so
Very,
that's
very generous.
and yeah, again, I'm getting a bit cloudy on ship dates, but they're shipping really soon. Like we have the final hardware at NAB, like we're into mass production. The one thing I should say is that, and we're trying to be more clear with promised features versus features that shipping. So that won't ship with the Cloud Connect enabled, like I mentioned, but that's
Yeah.
coming really closely. So that's part of the Silicon 2 kind of wrap up, and that's the same IP that goes across all of our products. So some of the stuff we've done in the background, which is hard to kind of explain, and it's not something you'd ever put on the website or anything like that. But we went through a 9-month. We thought it was going to be a 3-month process, but it turned out to be almost a year, where we've unified all of the IP stack across all of the products. So now when we do an update, you'll see, for example, that when we put an update out for the cameras, there's only one single file, and it will recognize which camera it is and just update it accordingly. So you don't have to worry about, have I downloaded the right file and that sort of thing. That's what the customer gets to see. But on the back end, it's actually optimized all of our core as well. And it means when we do have new features to roll out, it's much easier because we don't have to do a special build for each product. We can just do one build and it rolls out. So it means we can be a lot more streamlined and a lot faster in the future.
There's another Australian company that does the same thing.
Yeah, I know. Very, very clever.
Very clever.
But yeah, every now and then you have to take one step back to take 2 steps forward. So
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
So that leads me to the other part of your name. We've got the bird down, and and now I know why you guys named your company with the dog, because you think of it. What is a dog? A dog is man's best friend.
Yeah,
and
you've got it. So
who is that person that's always happiest to see you when you walk in the door at the end of the day?
Probably Dan. I've never seen Dan angry. Like, he's the happiest guy on the planet, for real. Like, he's always, what you see at trade shows, that's him 24/7, 7 days a week. Like it's just
It's sickening. I know it really is.
Yeah.
But my Jack Russell Terrier, Rooney, is always the happiest person to see me when I get home. He is incredibly faithful and loyal. And, when we go outside, he's always scouting around to make sure there's not something out there that's going to hurt either one of us. And you guys have taken on that same sort of attitude that we're going to always love seeing you. I mean, every time you guys have greeted me in person or through email or through mediums like this, y'all have always been very gracious in your welcome to me. You continue to put out really, really great products that are incredibly useful and just, continually kind of giving back in that sense. Yeah, I mean, I know it's a business, but at the same time, this is killer stuff. I'm loving it. And you wed the Easter eggs together with this loyalty concept. I see where the name of the company came from. I mean, I don't know if that's what you guys really thought, but that's what I see from the outside looking in.
You've basically nailed it. So the name came from, when you're trying to name a company, it's actually quite hard. You need, especially these days, you need to see if you can find a decent, URL and things like that. Make sure there's no other companies in your space if you've got a similar name and
without a dash in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I've just managed to pick that up. So that's good. But yeah, Dan actually came up with the name, and he sent it around on an email and sort of had the dictionary definition of a bird dog, which is your faithful assistant. Our first product was going to be an assistant to your camera, so we sort of had that tie-in, and so I sort of thought it's a bit weird to call your company BirdDog, but I don't know. I said to Dan, let's sleep on this for a few days. You know what I mean? There's no hurry here, right? But I couldn't get it out of my head, and so I couldn't get the name out of my head for some reason. I started looking at ideas for logos, and I came up with the dog's head on the bird's body, and thought, well, I sent it to Dan and said, if we can do this for the logo, then I'm in. And he said, yeah, okay, let's do it. So it was only after we'd done all that we realized that like a bird dog is a hunting dog, so it goes and gets the bird and brings it back. So there's that whole video send and receive kind of tie-in as well.
Sure.
And so I started telling people that was a planned thing, but
you can continue to unpack that. But you guys had a history of unique names for your company. I mean, the TriCaster distributorship was named Blonde Robot, which has nothing to do, at least at first glance, with TriCasters or video production or anything like that.
And it still doesn't, even at second and third glance. The history behind the funny names is well, the guy Dan and I worked for originally, he's remained a mentor in our lives, and we still both go to his Christmas barbecues every year, and he's a wonderful guy. He was really into this book. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I'm in New York. And
no, that's mine. That's on my end.
That's yours.
That's my end, yeah.
But yeah, he was really into this business book called The Purple Cow. And so the Purple Cow it's one of these best-selling business books and all the rest. But the premise of the book is really simple. It's like, it can be summed up in one little story. So if you're in the city and you're driving through New York City and you make it out in the countryside and you start to see some cows, you're like, you tell your whole family in the car, you're like, hey, wow, look, there's cows. We're in the countryside, there's cows here. 10 minutes later, you've seen 10,000 cows. You don't care about cows anymore. But then you see a cow that's 100% purple standing out in the paddock. Amongst all the black and white cows, there's this purple cow. What do? You stop the car, you're out of the car, you're taking photos of the cow, you're telling all your friends about the cow. All you can talk about is the purple cow. The purple cow becomes something you talk about for the rest of your life. And the whole premise of the book is to be the purple cow. So, by giving your company a funny name with a bit of a gimmick to it, like Blonde Robot, then you can sort of become that purple cow. So.
Got it. I understand it. I mean, we named this show Streaming Idiots, which is just like, how can anybody possibly take that seriously? But yeah.
It's honestly a great name. It's it's a purple cow name. So there you go.
It's Purple Cow. Yeah. And this coming summer, in either June or July, we will celebrate 10 years of live streaming. In fact, we're the oldest continually live streaming show that talks about live streaming. It's a narrow niche, but we're the oldest in the world. The
Doesn't
oldest
matter.
continually
You
running
claim it.
show. Yeah. The
So
claim to fame.
you'll be clocking up 10 years. Sorry, when?
Yeah. In June or July. Yeah.
Wow.
And
Oh, you have to have a big party for that and get everyone
we
involved
will.
and do a
Yeah.
24-hour live stream and test your endurance.
Yeah. That's not going to happen, but it would be fun to think about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are out of time, sir. Time just flew by. But before we go, so NAB, you guys introduced the two cameras, the P110 and the P120. The P110 is a 10x optical zoom. The 20x, the 20 is a 20x optical zoom. You'll find some pictures for those of you that want. You just Google it. You'll find them. I don't have any pictures available. I should. But one of my favorite features of those cameras is a little LED screen on the front, and the LED screen has the IP address right there on the front of the camera. And if the IP address changes, it changes there on the LED screen. I mean, whose brilliant idea was that? That is just remarkable. Well, I guess you probably stole it from the studio TV device.
Well, sort of. I think it came about because when we first started shipping cameras and we saw some photos of them in the wild, almost every single camera had like an IP address printed and stuck on the side in tape. And I was like, that's a bit ugly, and I think we can fix that. So, hardware takes a bit of time, to go through the iterations. But I think that's a feature you can expect to see on more and more of our products in the future. Sure.
Makes sense. Makes it easier for the user, and easier for the guru that's putting it all together, if they know what the IP address is. Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Brilliant.
And we're users ourselves, right? And so every time you plug one in, you're like, "What's your IP address?" And you're like, "Okay, let's go find a tool to find it on the network." It's like, no.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the hardest thing. Once you found it, it's like, okay, now we can do.
Yeah.
Our
support people are pretty happy with us doing that as well.
I bet they are. I bet it cut a third of those support requests out. Yeah, good. Well, look, we're going to close up this segment, go into post show. If you can hang out with me just a little bit longer, I think we've got some questions in chat, and we'll be right back, folks. This is Eamon Drew from BirdDog. Yes.
Yeah. Just before we go, I just want to say, a genuine and heartfelt thank you for having us on.
Of course.
We love joining your show, and anytime we can come and hang out and have a chat, we're all for it. So,
Well, you guys are so gracious. I mean, the last time I had you on the show, I think 2 hours before the show, I sent you a note, and of course, you guys are in Australia, so it was 9 hours difference or something crazy like that. 2 hours before the show, I send you a note saying I sent you the wrong time. The show's actually an hour earlier than I told you. You guys probably don't remember that. And so y'all were driving at 100 miles an hour, 180 kilometers an hour to get to your studio so that you could be in time for this crazy little, streaming idiot show. And it just is a testament to the dog portion of the BirdDog, that these are going to be the friendliest people that you ever work with that bend over backwards. All right, we're gonna go to post show in just a second. We're going to close out here. We'll be right back. And we're out. All right. Eamon, you're awesome. That was great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
I love the stories, The stories I call them sticky because people remember stories. They remember stories and they stick with you. And it's like, oh yeah, BirdDog. That's the one that created that studio device and Eamon and Dan put them together on their kitchen table. And then people like me make up other things to go with that story. And then there was a time that they dropped one and the parts got intermingled. And then they thought up a whole new idea for how to make devices. And that's how legends are formed right there. Holy cow.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I appreciate that. It's I tend to agree with you as well. So
we got lots of questions here. Aziz is
Yeah,
asking, will there be any PTZ cameras with depth or field from BirdDog?
depth
I'm
of
not sure
field.
what he's talking. Oh, depth of field. Okay.
Yeah. So are we? They're not. They can't hear us now. It's just replying to.
I'm
Oh,
sorry?
Siri. So it's sorry, Siri just popped up. They can't hear us now, right?
Yeah, no,
It's just us.
everybody's still on.
Oh,
Every,
okay.
yeah, everybody's
Um,
these are questions that they've asked. We're going to take a few minutes here in the post show and answer their questions. So this is the
okay.
audience interaction portion of the show.
Yeah, cool. So is this the way you get depth of field is by larger sensors. And yeah, our P4K actually we were showing at the show that you could get a really nice depth of field or quite a nice bokeh effect on the back. But we're showing depth of. So I don't even know what the right terminology is, but we're getting bokeh on the front and the back of the camera. So if you put an object in the like foreground, me, and then an object in the background, we're getting foreground blur and background blur. Um, that happens because the P4K has a Sony Export 1-inch sensor. You can get it with the other ones, things like the P200 and things like that as well. You just need to have more distance in the background to create more depth. To get depth of field in a short throw, that's where you need the larger sensor. So.
And he's wondering if there's somebody in Berlin where he can see a camera. Do you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. Teltec, TLTC. Yeah, they
Okay.
have them in stock. You can go
Okay.
see our man Levant there, and yeah.
There you go. All right. All right. Good. So is it Sky, SKAI? Sky says, I'm thinking about a PTZ, but what make and model? Well, the one I'm using right now is the P200. That's a 1080p. And then the one that Eamon was just talking about, the P400, is the 4K version of the same camera, bigger sensor. And they're you'll just drool over it when you get it. I mean, they're that good. They're that good.
Yeah, the P4K has almost got like a cinematic. You can get like almost a
That's
cinematic.
that's the next up from
Yeah,
the P400. Yes.
yeah,
The
yeah,
P4K.
yeah, exactly. So yeah,
Okay, let's see.
yeah,
What
good.
other questions do we have here? Rudy wants to know, are you Aussies influencing each other? So many live streaming companies coming from down under.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something in the water in Australia and Melbourne in particular. So out of Melbourne in Australia,
Particular.
you got BirdDog, Black Magic, Bluefish, Atomos, Media Proxy. Then in Sydney, you've got Decimator, Road, Audinate, who make Dante, and another company who doesn't get much exposure, but I like to shed a bit of light on where I can, called Ligar, LIGR, which stands for Live Graphics, and they do some really cool stuff with HTML5 graphics and things like that for sports and other things. Then obviously you've got vMix out of Queensland, or the Gold Coast. So we've just named sort of 10 influential companies now in the broadcast space that all come from Australia. So I don't know what it is about Australia. I genuinely don't. And everyone thinks, BirdDog, there must be ex-Black Magic or something like that. But no, we've got one guy who did an internship at Black Magic for a few months. But apart from that, yeah, we all just decided to do it ourselves, I guess. So.
That's amazing. It is really amazing. Yeah. Holy cow. All right, let's see. Other questions. Yeah, I'm searching through the questions, but if you've got a question that you've put in chat and it hasn't been answered, go ahead and post it again so it gets to the top. Jan says, good beer, great burgers in Amsterdam. That's right. He and Marie were at that party too. I remember. That was classic.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I remember. I'll have to look through and see if I've got some photos, because it was it was a bit of the original crew, wasn't it? So that'd
Yes, it was.
be good to look up.
All right, Aziz has got a question from a while back. Says, Tom, I have a question. What do I need if I want a PC in a different room and not in the studio in case it's too loud for the mics? Well, here's my studio. And I don't know if you notice these two little panels here, but these are fiberglass panels covered with speaker cloth. And my server lives right down there. Um, and that does a lot to cut out the noise from it. Um, I'm using Noctua. Isn't Noctua a Australian company too, Eamon?
Which one?
Noctua. They make fans and CPU coolers. I'll check. Maybe not.
Oh, potentially. Potentially. I'm not aware of that brand, but yeah, potentially.
And they're really, really. They did great engineering with the fan blades to give you the same amount of airflow, but without the fan noise. And so I've retrofit the case with all of those fans, and it makes an inordinate amount of difference. And for folks that are buying PCs from us, especially in the worship house of worship market, we're using a case that has added installation inside of it, so you can't even tell if that computer is running. You can have it right next to you on the desk, and you're not even sure it's running unless you just look over and happen to see the lights going. It's that quiet. It's amazing what's been done.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it is. It is cool. But I like having it close by because if I have a question or I need to plug something in, it's right here. Yep. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to that shot.
Just looking at my phone for questions as well.
Yeah. And you can actually, my computer is here in Fairhope, Alabama, but I did a show, it was a couple of months ago, maybe longer, I was on the road and I remoted in with vMix Call to this PC here, and I used TeamViewer to control this PC here, and I did the whole show remotely with my video and audio coming from a laptop PC and a Logitech C9, whatever it was, 920 webcam, and a little lav mic. And if it wasn't for the birds singing in the background, you might not have known the difference.
Yeah, I just noticed another question from Aziz. He said that Teltec probably aren't the right one for him. So Aziz, you can just drop us an email at hello@birddog.tv. So it's BIRDDOG.tv, and one of our guys from the Europe team will put you in touch with someone who can help. So. Yeah.
Jan says the distances in Australia are so vast that you need live streaming just to talk to your neighbor.
Yeah, the tin can stream, wasn't working after a while.
That's right.
Yeah, there's a few questions from Jan Bernard as well about comms. Yeah,
Yes.
Jan, I think that's something we probably need to talk about a little bit offline. Comms has come a long way. I'm not sure which version you're using, but we have made some pretty big strides forward in the latest versions, and to my understanding is it's working a lot better than the earlier versions. So if you're having some problems, it would be good to get those listed out in an email to us. We'll do our best to help you. So you can sort of drop them to help@birddog.tv and maybe copy hello@birddog.tv. And if you like, you can copy me, but I'm terrible at emails, but it's just first name. Eamon, EAMON @birddog.tv, and I'll do my best to make sure it gets to the right people.
And BirdDog John is in the chat, so he might have a question as well.
BirdDog John's getting over COVID at the moment as well. 3 of us got it. He was one of them. I'm going to blame John and say I got it from John, but who knows? I might have given it to John. We just don't know in these days. Yeah, John, if you caught the start of the show, I gave you a big shout out. So thanks for all the help with the show, mate. You did a great job.
He did. He said he was going to give you a raise. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't tell Dan.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Let's see. Let's see. What else do we have here?
Yeah, as I said, you're in my favourite city. What a pity you can't go out. Yeah, I agree. I've been in New York a few times, and I was really looking forward to this trip because we had a whole bunch of stuff planned. But I was going to try and get up to Chicago and down to DC and things like that as well. But I was just stuck in a hotel room. So I'm not complaining. There's a lot of people in the world that have got it worse off than me, so I'm not complaining. It's just
Yeah. Well, I miss our good friend Martin Steed, who died earlier this year. of COVID
Yeah.
in the UK. Martin was part of that rowdy crowd that was at your party in Amsterdam in 2019,
I
and part
know.
of the vMix bowling crew that
Yeah.
same year.
Yeah. I remember, and yeah, he's a lovely guy. I saw the news, and it's just really sad. He's just one of those guys who's got a heart of gold. He's just not the sort of guy who deserved that. So, yeah.
No, that's right. That's right. He was his own purple cow. That was for sure. Yeah.
He was. He was.
All right. So Jan wants to know: are there any plans on opening an office in the EU? He's thinking maybe Denmark or Sweden.
Well, we've got people in the UK, in the EU at the moment. We've got a support engineer in France. We've got obviously Phil Lane, our main man over there in the UK. We do rely a fair bit on our distributor over there to do Holden, who do a great job for a lot of support and RMAs and things like that. But yeah, we're looking into that. Like I said, we're growing quite fast. We didn't get a chance to talk about it, but we listed on the Australian stock market in December, and the whole point of that was really just to drive some. We needed some much needed money in the business. We were self-funded up until that point, and we needed to get some cash into the business to grow. So it was not about anything other than getting some cash in the business to grow the product roadmap and accelerate that as fast as we can. And to do that, we needed more engineers. And then if we accelerate the product roadmap, then we need more support people and more salespeople and all that sort of thing. So it's all about just growing the business. And yeah, we're investing heavily in that at the moment. As I said, we're up to about 10 people in the USA. Europe's next. Europe will get a big boost. We've got I think 3 or 4 jobs being advertised for hires at the moment. So yeah.
Well, and no matter where you are in the world, I understand that you can purchase stock in BirdDog off the Australian stock market. I've
good
inquired.
time at the moment. I would have thought. Yeah. We haven't had a good run of it so far.
Well, now is the time to snap up all those available remaining shares and then watch them just soar. There you go. So Aziz says, we don't play cricket here. That's why they don't want to open any offices here. So there you go.
Well, that's not actually true, Aziz. Netherlands have a team in the World Cup, and they compete every year. So maybe we'll open up in the Netherlands.
There you go. There you go. Well, Eamon, you have been a prince to come join us this afternoon and then hang around and take questions after the fact. It has been so good to have you here this afternoon. So good to see you last week, and just so wonderful to see the success that BirdDog is having, and we just wish you guys continued success after success after success in the months and years to come. Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. Dan and I, honestly, we're just normal Aussie blokes. We're humble at heart, so we'll never forget our roots. It doesn't matter where this ends up going. We'll never forget our roots. So yeah, we appreciate all the support along the way.
Well done, sir. Well done, sir. Folks, this is going to wrap up Streaming Idiots today. If you missed it earlier, it'll be ready on YouTube in 10 seconds, so you can go back and watch. And if you're in New York, don't go visit Eamon, because he's probably still a little bit contagious, and he needs to get home or back to Las Vegas or wherever his next trip is.
Off to Spain is the next one. So hopefully,
Barcelona, yes.
Yeah, there's a big trade show there at the end of or starting next week. So hopefully I can get on the plane and at least make it to Spain.
I hope you can too.
Honestly, anywhere but this hotel room by this stage.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay with me.
That's all right. All right, Eamon, hang around.